Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, chapter 5, text 48. Navamo karma kalpopi viphalai swararpito alpate purusa seva ayatma daita hito. Navamo karma kalpopi vikalpaya swararpito kalpate purusa seva ayatma daito hito. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Activities dedicated to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even if performed in small measure, never go in vain. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, being the Supreme Father, is naturally very dear and always ready to act for the good of the living entities. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, the Lord says, Sholpangapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. This dharma, devotional service, is so important that even if performed to a very small, almost negligible extent, it can give one the supreme result. There are many instances in the history of the world in which even a slight service rendered to the Lord has saved a living entity from the greatest danger. Ajamila, for example, was saved by the Supreme Personality of Godhead from the greatest danger, that of going to hell. He was saved simply because he chanted the name Narayana at the end of his life. When Ajamila chanted this holy name of Lord Narayana, he didn't chant knowingly. Actually, he was calling his youngest son, whose name was Narayana. Nonetheless, Lord Narayana took this chanting seriously, and thus Ajamila achieved the result of Ante Narayana Smriti, remembering Narayana at the end of life. If one somehow or other remembers the holy name of Narayana, Krishna or Ram at the end of life, he immediately achieves the transcendental result, going back home, back to Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is actually the only object of our love. As long as we are in this material world, we have so many desires to fulfill. But when we come in touch with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we immediately become perfect and fully satisfied, just as a child is fully satisfied when he comes to the lap of his mother. Dhruva Maharaj went to the forest to achieve some material result by austerity and penance. But when he actually saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he said, I do not want any material benediction. I am completely satisfied. Even if one wants some material benefit from serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this can be achieved extremely easily, without hard labor. Therefore, the Shastra recommends akama sarvakama va mukhya kama udaradhi tibrena bhakti yogena jayetu purusam param. Whether one desires everything or nothing, or desires to merge into the existence of the Lord, he is intelligent only if he worships Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by rendering transcendental loving service. Srimad Bhagavatam. Even if one has material desires, one can undoubtedly achieve what he wants by rendering service to the Lord. Desperate. Are you desperate? He's desperate. He's desperate. Poor Brahma is desperate. No speaking English, only speaking Oriya, 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 Oriya. You learn Oriya. Huh? Better. Then you can understand why you're becoming desperate. You understand? Sunday program, spiritual program. All right, our discussion is this. Right, here it is said, Sholapamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. This dharma, devotional service, is so important that even if performed to a very small, almost negligible extent, it can give one the supreme result. There are many instances in the history of the world in which even a slight service rendered to the Lord has saved a living entity from greatest danger. Ajamila, for example, was saved by the Supreme Personality Godhead, greatest danger, that of going to hell. Saved simply because chanted the name Narayana at the end of life. When Ajamila chanted this holy name of Lord Narayana, he didn't chant knowingly. Actually, he was calling the youngest son, whose name was Narayana. The most important thing. Ajamila was a great sinful person. You understand? He had committed innumerable sinful activities. Nobody can count. Chitragupta who maintains the record of the sinful activities in Jamraj's abode, had prepared a very great, heavy book of Jamila, a great book. You understand? Chitragupta had prepared. But that means he had committed so many, innumerable. So he was going to die at the age of 84. You understand? Or 88, something like this. Above 80. He's going to die. So, very fearful looking. Jamadutas came. Very horrible looking. So when he saw these Jamadutas, he became terrified. And called out his youngest son, Narayan. Oh, Narayan, come up, Narayan. Immediately, Vishnudutas appeared and drove out. John, get out here. Isn't it? What happened? Jamadutas asked, what happened? This is a great sinful person, greatest sinner. Committed so many sins. Why are you driving us out? Who are you? They asked. Then Vishnudutas asked, who are you? Oh, we are Jamdutas, messenger from Jamraj. Oh, messenger from Jamraj. Jamraj is known as Dharmaraj. Is known as Dharmaraj, is a Mahajan, is Dharmaraj, who knows very well the principles of Dharma. Then, when you are messengers of that Dharmaraj, Jamraj, then you should have known the principles of Dharma. How to say? Whom are you taking to the abode of Jamraj? We take everybody. We take everybody in this material world. Because everybody is committing sin. Isn't it? Material world, Baddha Jiva, conditioned soul has forgotten Krishna, is engaged in sense gratification, giving pleasure to his own body or senses. That means committing sin. Every moment is committing sin, consciously and unconsciously. So we are taking everybody. That's a fact. This is the first time in our life that we are prevented. We are prevented first time. You understand? So there is some discussion about principles of Dharma. So that Ajamila had it. He was saved. Sopamapyasa dharmasya trayate mahatobhayat is saved. Because he uttered the name of Narayana. Narayana is the name of the Lord. He was just calling his son, not calling Narayana Lord. You understand? But this is the name of Lord Narayana. So powerful. At the time of the death, if somebody, some human being, can utter or think of this name, Narayana, Rama, Krishna, immediately all his sinful reactions are finished, destroyed, and he goes back home, back to God. Mangeva samukta kalevaram joprayati samadbhavam jati nastatra sansaya. There's no doubt in it. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, at the time of death, if somebody thinks or utters the name of mind, Krishna, Ram, or Narayan, he will go back home, back to water. There's no doubt in it. And that is the perfection of life. That is success of life. Ante Narayana Smriti. Janmalava Parapunsang Ante Narayana Smriti. Isn't it? Janmalava Parapunsang Ante Narayana Smriti. Ante means at the end. At the time of death. If some human being will think of Narayana, Krishna, Ram, utter his name, he has achieved success. That is success of life, isn't it? But is it very easy? Is it easy to think of Narayana or utter name of Narayana at the time of death? Not easy thing. Because the death is very painful. Jantrana, dukkha. This is one of the miseries. Janma mrityu dharabhyadhi. The mrityu, death, is one of the miseries. Very painful situation. Isn't it? One will become unconscious. No consciousness. You understand? Here he says, Kantavarodhana vidau prana prayana samaye kapha bata biti kantavarodhana vidau bhadanam kutaste. Kapha bato pito. Cough, air, and by the three dhatus, they choke up. They would choke up the throat. Nobody can utter anything, say anything. How can you say utter name of Narayana at that time? Impossible. You understand? One cannot. Very painful. How can one utter the name of the Lord at that time? You understand? It is impossible, quite humanly impossible. Not possible at all. And how will it be possible? It's impossible. But Krishna says, Mangeva smutta kalevaram japrayati samadbhavam jati na sutra sansaya. At the time of death, if someone thinks of me, utters my name, he'll go to me. No. That is success of life. That's the perfection of life. How can it be possible? Impossible. Mata smriti jnanam apahanam cha. Krishna said. The remembrance, forgetfulness, remembrance and jnana, knowledge comes from me. If someone will get the mercy of Krishna or Paramatma Super Soul, he will be able to utter or think of Krishna, Narayana at the time of death. Otherwise, it's not possible. The question of mercy of Krishna or Paramatma. And who can get it? He is a very fortunate person. He is a very fortunate person. He can get such mercy, otherwise nobody. How a sinful person can get such mercy? Impossible. A sadhu may get. He is a sadhu. He was completely surrendered unto Krishna. He is sadhu. He may get that mercy. He can think of, he may think of. Krishna or Paramatma will make you remember, make him remember. Mata smriti jnanam apahanancha. From me comes remembrance, forgetfulness, and jnana, knowledge. Otherwise, man cannot, by dint of his own strength, merit, or intelligence, think of Krishna at the time. Impossible. That is said. Prana prayana samaye kapha bata piti kantavarodhana vidhu bhajanam kutaste. What bhajan I'll do at that time is Jamana Stotra, is Mukunda Mala Stotra. At the time of death, I cannot, because this kapha bata pito choke up the throat. I cannot say. Krishna tadiya padapankaja panjaranta madaiva visatme manasarajahans. So this is the prayer. Oh Krishna, let my mind, who is like a swan, swan-like mind, every moment constantly remain attached to your lotus feet. You understand? That is the prayer. Krishna tadiya padapankaja pancharanta madaiva visatme manasarajahans. Then there will be no fear. Constantly the mind is fixed at the lotus feet of Krishna. Even movement is fixed. You understand? So there is no fear of death. Let death come at any moment. Death may come at any moment. So that body is not afraid of death because his mind is constantly fixed at the lotus feet of Krishna. So he can, by the mercy of Krishna, Paramatma, think of Krishna, Narayan. Otherwise not possible. Then such a person is never afraid of death. He invites death. Let death come now. Oh Krishna, send death now. My mind is fixed at your lotus feet. Let death come. Isn't it? Otherwise, everybody is afraid of death. Mahato bhayat. It's great fear, great danger is bhaya, is mriti. Svalpangapyasya dharmasya trayate maha. Little, someone has done something little in this devotional path, he will be saved from the greatest danger. So how could this Ajamila saved? How could this Ajamila be saved? That is our question. Such a great sinful person. How could he keep the name of his youngest son Narayan? That is Sukruti. You understand? That is Sukruti. Otherwise, he could have kept the name Tom Baby, Alexander, Paul, like this. Isn't it? Is it Paul, Tom, Baby, Alexander? Isn't it? How could he name his son Narayan? That is Sukruti. Because during his boyhood days, he was born in a Brahman family. He was studying Veda during his boyhood days. He was associating with sadhu. This is the Sukruti of sadhu sangha. You understand? When he became young youth, at that time he committed sin. He was married, a very beautiful Brahmin wife, but he gave up his wife and he became attached to a prostitute. So he committed many sinful activities, produced many children from the womb of that prostitute. Even at the age of 80, you see, 80-year-old man, so much attached to sex that he produced that child, his youngest son, who was 5 years old at that time. When he was 88 years old, he was 5 years. That means at the age of 83, he produced that child. So much attached to sex. He had committed so much sinful activities. But fortunately, he had kept that name Narayan. That is the result of his sadhu sangha. You understand? And he was so much attached to his youngest son, many times he had called that name Narayan, Narayan. Oh Narayan, come, sit beside me, sleep beside me, come and eat with me, like this. Many times they had uttered this name. So, out of that Sukruti, he could utter that name, Narayan, at that time. Otherwise, it's not possible. And another thing is there. He called his son. He is not calling Bhagavan Narayan. You understand? He called his son, being afraid of Jamadutas. He called his son, Narayan, please come to my side. He never called Narayan, Bhagavan Narayan. That means he didn't commit that aparad. Nama bade papa, buddhi aparad. Nama aparad. Committing sinful activity in the strength of chanting holy name. That aparad he didn't commit. Otherwise, he couldn't have achieved this result. You understand? He didn't commit. That Nama aparad. He was not calling Narayana the Lord, he was calling his son. Is Namabhasa. That is Namabhasa stage. He achieved Namabhasa stage. 4 types of Namabhasa are there. Do you know? Sanketyam, Parihasyam, Stobham, Avahedanam va. 4 types. Sanketya, Parihasya, Stobha, Avahedam. You know what is that? This is Sanketya, calling the son, Narayan. But the name of the, hey, why is talking? But the name, the Narayana is the name of the Lord. It is not directly calling the Lord Narayana. It's calling his son. This is Sankirtya. You understand? Sankirtya. Parihasyam, out of joke, someone is saying. As in Kaji Uddhar Leela, as Kaji man says. The Vaishnavas were chanting Hari, 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 Hari. Hey, don't chant Hari, Hari. Hari, Hari means chori, chori. Hari means stealing. Stealing, stealing, stealing. Don't chant stealing, stealing. Kaji will imprison you. He is just joking. Still he is uttering the name of Hari. That is Parihasya, Namabhasa. You understand? Sanketyam Parihasyam Stobham Abhalanam. Stov means someone theatrical actor in stage, dramatic stage. Is acting and saying Hari, Krishna, Ram, Narayan. Like this. Some acting like you say, Narada Muni, playing the role of Narada. So Narada Muni bajaya Veena. Radhika Ramana Nami. So with his Veena Jantra, chanting Hari, Radhe, Krishna, like this. That is Stovan. It's like 4 types of Namabhasa. One Mohammedan may be there. You understand Mohammedans? When they will get angry, they will abuse somebody, they say, Haram Khan. They say Ram. Out of anger. It's abusing. You understand? This says Ram. That is scientific like this. These are Namabhasa, 4 types of Namabhasa. And Ajamila achieved that Namabhasa stage, Sankirtya Namabhasa stage, because he called his son Narayana. And he didn't commit that Namaparat, Nambale Papavuts. Committing sin, strength of chanting. He didn't come. Therefore, his all sinful reactions, that's why immediately. So, he didn't die. The lifespan increased. And he came to senses. Then he repented. Oh, such a great sinful person. I had committed so much sin. No, I won't do any more sin. He went to Haridwar. Many sadhus were there. He associated with sadhus. Take shelter of a sadhu. Chanted. Completely surrendered unto holy name. You understand? Then he got. When again time of death came, Viman, airplane came from Vaikuntha planet. And he went there. This is what. So one may think, all right, so very easy thing. Let me commit sins. I have committed many sins, many lives. Previously also committed. Now I'll commit many sins. So at the time of death, I'll chant Narayana like that. I'll get. Will it be possible? No. This attitude is offensive attitude. But Ajamila had no such offensive attitude. So he attained Namabhasa. If somebody develops such attitude, all right, I'll commit sins now, but at time of death, I'll chant Narayana. Then I'll be completely free. I'll get that stage or go back home like Ajamila. But that will not possible. Because this is offensive attitude. Nambale Pap Buddhi is committing that aparat. That man cannot. Matasmriti Jnanangapahana. From me comes remembrance, forgetfulness, remembrance, and jnana. Paramatma will never prompt him. He cannot utter such a person. At any moment, death will come. You cannot say when death will come. Only at the old age only death will come. Some babies are dying. Some babies in mother's womb also dying. Nowadays also there is cases of abortion. You understand? Cutting womb and killing baby from the womb. This sinful activity is going on. Then how? Let it possible. Young man dies. Old man dies. Baby dies, boy dies. Any moment, anybody can die. It's uncertain. How can you say? You can't say. When death will come, at what moment death will come, you uncertain. So Prahlad Maharaj says, Kaumar asrite pragyam dharman bhagavatan yo. Durlavam manusam janmam tadapya dhruvam arthadam. He is wise man. He is intelligent. Who begins this Bhagavad Dharma from very childhood. Very child. He is intelligent. Because at any moment, death will come. And he has begun it from very childhood. He is intelligent, he is pragya. And this is our instruction. And this is the case of destroying sinful reactions. Do you understand? Most important thing. Therefore, Krishna says, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam saranam braja. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam saranam braja. Give up all varieties of dharma just to surrender unto me. Antam sra papebhya mukhe mas. Then I will. Don't fear, you surrender. Then I will destroy the all sinful reactions, the sins you have committed. Krishna can destroy, nobody can. Unless one surrenders, sinful reactions will not be destroyed at all. This question of surrender. This question of surrender is there. You understand? Otherwise, sinful reactions will never be destroyed. A great strict, you see, brahmachari was there. He was very strictly observing the principle of brahmacharya, not committing any sin. You understand? Only drinks milk. Only drinks milk. Very strictly following the principle of brahmacharya and drinks milk. Never committing is never committing, not committing any sinful activity. Such a brahmachari was there at the time of Mahaprabhu. When Mahaprabhu was doing Sankirtan in Srivasangam, such a brahmachari was there. So he approached Srivas Thakur. Will you please allow me to enter into that, your courtyard, to see Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan? That requested him. Srivas Thakur thought of, oh, this is nice brahmachari, he never commits any sin. He only drinks milk and very strictly observes the principles of brahmacharya. If I keep him in my house, there will be no wrong. Still, he kept him hidden. Kept him hidden. All right, you stay here. He kept him hidden. You understand? But Mahaprabhu, who knows everything, he is in the heart, super soul. When Mahaprabhu came and started Sankirtan, he could understand somebody else is here. So he said, why? What happened today? I cannot get pleasure in Sankirtan. Is there anybody else here? No. Mahaprabhu could understand. How could I hide Mahaprabhu? So Srivas Thakur said, oh yes, that brahmachari was there. And then Mahaprabhu got angry. Suni krodha vasse tabe bole Vishwambar. Jhar jhar bari no bahiro yahan ko. Became angry. Immediately, get him out, drive him out. You see. Mahaprabhu became angry. More nritya dekhite tahar kon shakti? Popan korle ki mote hoy bhakti? If someone will only drink milk, then will he be eligible to see my hands? That's not true. Bhakti is something different thing. It's question of surrender. But that fellow is not surrendered soul. So he is not eligible. Drive him out. Popan kabhu mor keho nai pai. Chandala mohar sarana jadi loy. Seho mor muintar janiyo nishcho. Only by drinking milk, nobody can get. If a chandal, one may be a chandal, if he completely surrenders unto me, then he is mine, I am his. This question of surrender. Sannyasiyo jadi mor naloy saran. Seho mor no satya bolilu bachan. If someone may be a sannyasi, but he doesn't surrender unto me. He is not. I never accepted. You understand? This is the question of surrender. You understand? This is bhakti. It's question of surrender. Sarvadharman paritejya mamekam saranam bhajanta sapapebhyam kishyami mahasucha. That Krishna said. This question of surrender. This impersonalists, Brahmavadis, they undergo very severe austerities and penances, very strictly follow the principles of brahmacharya and sannyasa, but they never surrender. So they cannot get Krishna. Do you understand? Mahaprabhu says, Mayavadi Krishna Aparadi. They are thinking themselves, Narayana, great offenders. Do you understand? That says, Sannyasyo jadi more sarana nanoy. Say more noy. Satya bolilu bachao. I speak the truth. The sannyasi will never surrender unto me. I won't accept. He cannot get. Bhakti is something different thing. You understand? Huh? These so-called sannyasis, these Mayavadis, their sinful reactions are not annihilated. They have to undergo, they have to reap the sinful reactions. That's a fact. Our example is that. Mandukya Muni. Mandukya Muni. Huh? Mandukya Muni. You know, first canto, Srimad Bharata. Huh? Mandukya Muni was there, was a great sannyasi, very strictly observing, following the principle of sannyas, not committing any sinful activity, very strict, you understand, like this brahmachari. But he had to sit on story, a pointed thing, spear-like thing, will pierce through your anus. That is suri, we say. He was punished like that. So he had some yogic perfection, he couldn't die. So he went to Jamajagor and asked Jamaraj, why? Why did you inflict such punishment unto me? I didn't commit any sinful activity. Very strictly I follow the principles of sannyas and never commit any sinful activity. Why did you? Jamaraj says, Maharaj, when you are a young boy, 5-year-old boy, you understand, you had committed some sinful activity. What is that? Now you had thrust a thorn unto an insect. That you have done. So this is the reaction. This pointed spear pierced through your anus now, because you have thrust that thorn unto the insect. Then, that's it. When a child, he said, I was unconscious. I was not conscious of sinful activity. Oh, that's not bad. You may be conscious or unconscious. Consciously, unconsciously committed any sinful activity. You must reap the reaction. That's a fact. As for example, we say, suppose here police, magistrate had, what do you say? What do you say in English? Proclaimed that this 144, there are panchain is there. If somebody will come and pass stool here or pass urine here, he'll commit. He'll be imprisoned. Police will catch him up. So some person came and passed urine. Police immediately came and cut him. Hey, chalo. So what happened? Now why did you pass urine here? This panchain is there. I don't know. I'm a newcomer here. I don't know. Oh, that won't be hard. You have committed. You have broken the law. Chalo. That is. When it is here in the material sphere, what to speak of spiritual sphere? Unconsciously you have committed such sinful activity. That cannot. That is. Whatever consciously, unconsciously you are committing any sinful activity, unless you surrender unto Krishna, Supreme Lord Narayana, that sinful reactions will never be annihilated, destroyed. That's the one process. That the only prayascitta, yeah, for any sinful activity you have committed. Isn't it? Atonement, we say prayascitta. That's the only prayascitta, only sort of prayascitta, atonement. We have that thing, Subudhi Raya's case. Subudhi Raya's case is there. In Chaitanya Lila, Subudhi Raya became Mohammedan. He drank some water from Mohammedans. So he became Mohammedan, committed sin. You understand? Mohammedans eat cow. Sinful persons. So he thought of that I committed this sin. So what shall I do? I must execute some atonement to be free from the sinful reaction. So he went to the Pandits of Kashi and asked them, I have committed this sin. Please prescribe some process of atonement. How can I free from this sinful reaction? The Pandits of Kashi, they turn over the pages of their Shastra and they say, all right, this is the process. You have to drink hot ghee. You have to drink hot ghee. Very hot ghee you have to drink. Then you will free from this sinful reaction. This pap will leave you. The thought of hot ghee, if I drink, I'll die. I'll die. So he didn't do it. When Mahaprabhu came to Kashi, he approached Mahaprabhu. He approached Mahaprabhu that I have committed this sin. But the Pandits of Kashi, they told me like that, drink hot ghee, but I didn't do it. Please, you instruct me what sort of atonement I shall execute. Mahaprabhu said, this is not real atonement, but the Pandits say, that is known as karma prayascitta. You understand? Karma prayascitta. And karma prayascitta is not real prayascitta, atonement. As for example, that is known as kunjara saucha, kunjara snan. This elephant's taking bath. You understand? Elephant enters into a pond or river, takes bath. As soon as gets out of the pond or river, comes to the land, again with his trunk, takes all dust and mud, sprinkles over all his body. So what is the value of that bath? Again the same and that is. Similarly, karma prayascitta means for temporary period, the sin may leave you, but again you will commit. That's not real at all. Then comes Gyan Prayascitta. You understand? You understand what I say? Huh? Gyan Prayascitta. Gyan Prayascitta means is now very serious. That now I will never commit any sin now. Very strictly follows the principles of dharma. He didn't commit any sin now. He did Gyan Sadhana. Have to merge into Brahman effulgence. That's Gyan Prayascitta. But that's not real Prayascitta. Because that is the example is given like that. It is like that. There is a jungle of bamboos. So, accidentally, there was fire in that jungle. So, whole jungle was burnt to ashes, completely burnt to ashes. No trace of it. One may say, all right, jungle is completely burnt to ashes, no trace at all. But the root is there, under the earth, isn't it? That is not burnt. When there is a shower of rain, again it germinates. The Gyan Prayascitta is like that. With Gyan Prayascitta, all sinful reactions are burnt to ashes completely. But the root is not burnt. What is that root? The root is avidya, ignorance, avidya. That is the root or seed of sin. Pap bija. Bija means seed, root. That's not burnt. By Gyan Prayascitta, the root is not burnt. Again, one will commit. We say, Arya Prasena Param Padam Tada Padanti Adho Nadrita Smada Pangraya. This Gyan will go to that Brahman effulgence. but they fall down again. Because they have not taken shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. It is only place of shelter. So fall down again. Here they will fall down here and they will commit again sin. There's no prayascitta at all. Mahaprabhu said, Bhakti Prayascitta is the only Prayascitta. Do you understand? Bhakti Prayascitta is the only Prayascitta. What is that? That means to completely now take shelter of the holy name. You chant this holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. You understand? That is stated. Mahaprabhu said, you take to the holy name, chant Hare Krishna. By chanting, to follow these four regulatory principles and chant Hare Krishna, completely take shelter of the holy name. When you attain Namabhasa stage, then all the sinful reactions are completely destroyed. And you utter pure name, then you will get Krishna. This is the real Prayascitta. The real Prayascitta that is stated here. Vaishnava. Vaishnava means was completely taken shelter. Completely surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord. Completely surrender unto the holy name of the Lord. Is Vaishnava. He will never commit. Strictly following four regulatory principles under the guidance of a bona fide Guru, Vaishnava Acharya, chanting, stump surrender. He will never commit. He says here, অজ্ঞানে বা হয় যদি পাপ উপস্থিত কৃষ্ণ তারে ক্ষমা করে না করায় প্রায়শ্চিত বিধি ধর্ম ছাড়ি ভোজে কৃষ্ণের চরণ নিষিদ্ধ পাপাচার তার কভু নয় মন অজ্ঞানে বা হয় যদি পাপ উপস্থিত কৃষ্ণ তারে শুদ্ধ করি না করে প্রায়শ্চিত Chaitanya Charitamrita said. If such a Vaishnava unconsciously, ajnani, does some sinful act, unconscious, not conscious, Krishna excuses him. Krishna excuses him. No sort of atonement is required for him. Example is Billamangal. Example is Billamangal. You understand? Billamangal is such a great sinful person. Isn't it? Was so much attached to that prostitute, Chintamani. But at the Chintamani gave a stroke to him. So he completely turned his face towards Krishna. He became complete sadhu. Surrendered unto Krishna. While he was going to Vrindavan, he saw a maiden. His eye fell on her. He followed her. That story I was telling that day. But when her husband said, all right, if sadhu, you say sadhu, sadhu means bhakta. Complete surrendered soul. If we can satisfy a sadhu, then Krishna will be satisfied to get blessings, mercy of Krishna. Go, fulfill what sadhu wants, fulfill his desire. So that just lady came, instruction of her husband. All right, oh sadhu Maharaj, I am now prepared to fulfill your desire. Tell me, what shall I do? Immediately became conscious. Oh, these eyes put me in such dangerous situation. So immediately picked up two thorns and blinded himself. Trusted. Thorns onto his eyes, blinded himself. That means that he had no desire of committing sin in his heart. Heart is completely clean. That Krishna said, knows the heart. অজ্ঞানে হয় যদি পাপ উপস্থিত কৃষ্ণ তার ক্ষমা করে না করে This unconscious. Krishna excused him. Immediately Krishna came. Oh, sadhu, you are going to Vrindavan, all right. You became blind. How can you go? Come with me. Catch hold of the stick. I'll take you to Vrindavan. So, how is it possible? Krishna knows this unconscious. A Vaishnava, completely surrendered soul, cannot, can never. If unconsciously some pap will be there, Krishna excuses him. He will never undergo any sort of atonement. That is it. This example is there. Is Achamila. Krishna knows the heart. If in your heart there is desire, you cannot be excused. This is most important. So this surrender is the only process. Saranagati is the only process for atonement. All sinful reactions. You are committing many sins. Previously you have committed. Now you are committing consciously and unconsciously. How can you free? Unless you surrender. Therefore Mahaprabhu says, one may be a strict brahmachari, one may be a strict sannyasi, but if he doesn't surrender, he is not my bhakta. He is not eligible to see my nastya, my dance. Get him out. Drive him out. Like this. This is most important. That is the real atonement, this Bhakti Prayascitta. You understand? That Mahaprabhu instructed to Subuddhi Rai. You understand? Subuddhi Rai. And also you'll find another example, Devananda Pandit in Chaitanya Bhagavata. Do you know that? Devananda Pandit mentioned Chaitanya Bhagavata. Do you understand? Devananda Pandit is a very pious soul, great Pandit also. He was not committing any sin. And he is very proficient in Srimad Bhagavata. You understand? Very proficient, very much interested in Srimad Bhagavata, proficient in Bhagavata. He does very nice Bhagavad Pravachan. All appreciate. You understand? But he never pays proper respect to the Vaishnavas. He was so puffed up. He was very puffed up that I am such a great Pandit, I know very well Bhagavat. Puffed up. You understand? That means he was committing offense on lotus feet of Vaishnavas. That offense he was committing. So Mahaprabhu got angry on him. I'll tear your Bhagavat Pothi. Mahaprabhu said. You understand? You'll get this information from Chaitanya Bhagavata. This mentioned there. Those who have read Chaitanya Bhagavata, they know it. Because he had no bhakti at all. Because he's committing offense at the lotus feet of Vaishnavas. He was a great Pandit. He was proficient in Srimad Bhagavata. He did nice Bhagavad Pravachan, gave nice Bhagavad Pravachan, and very much interested in Bhagavata. He never commits any sinful activity, but was committing this aparat. So Mahaprabhu got angry. Bhakti is something different thing. Do you understand? Something different. So, and bhakti is the only process. Only process. Sarvadharman paritejya mamekam saranam radham tasya papebhyam kesema. Therefore Krishna said this thing. Give up all varieties of dharma, completely surrender. Then I will destroy all the sinful reactions of yours. Nobody can do this thing. Only Krishna can do. It's question, provided you surrender. You understand? This is most important. And that Ajamila achieved that Namabhasa. He didn't commit that aparat. Nambale Papa Buddhi aparat. Didn't commit. Otherwise, if someone will develop this attitude, all right, I'll chant Hare Krishna and destroy my sinful act. Now again I will commit some new sins. Then again I'll chant. This is offensive attitude. Such a person will never be excused. He cannot utter name. You understand? Khyaro bahiro ebote, nam nahi hoy. Only alphabets will come out. Name will never come out. He is such an offender. One should understand. We say, all right, I am chanting always Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram, Ram. But you are committing many offenses. Like Devananda Pandit or some Pandit, you are committing many offenses. Namaparad, Shivaparad, Vaishnavaparad, so many aparads you are committing. That's one of the anarthas. But you are so much puffed up that I am chanting Hare Krishna. But no, names are not coming out. Only alphabets are coming out. Well, this is most important. This is most important. But that Ajamila, didn't commit that aparadha. A real name came out. Narayana. That's it. Namabhasa stage. Immediately into reaction. Completely. Most important. This is Tattva Vichar. That is stated here in this verse. Narayana, Krishna, Ram at the end of life. Immediately achieves transcendental result going back to body. Anti Narayana Smriti. Janmalava Parapusang. Anti Narayana. That is the success of life. If somebody can chant Narayana or think of Lord Narayana, Ram or Krishna at the time of death, achieved success in his life. He will go back home. That is our goal. That's our goal. Unless you take shelter of a bona fide Vaishnava Guru under his guidance, strictly following for regulative principles, not committing any aparadha, you'll chant, then it's possible. Otherwise, no.